to talk a little bit about my journey from Emerald to Sapphire today. And it was 3 years between me ranking Emerald to Sapphire. And during that 3-year time span, I had a lot of life happen. I had my second baby. I packed up my family and moved to a new state. I lost my grandmother, and a week later lost my mom. Right when I had a newborn, just 5 weeks old. So some really heavy stuff that I had to go through and kind of take my foot off the gas for a minute. And I'm so grateful that this opportunity allowed me that space and time to grieve and reflect and heal, and I was still able to make a considerable income for our family during a time when my wellness was not in the best place, and I could actually focus on that. So the gratitude I have for this opportunity is enormous. So even if you're running after something and your vision is not maybe super clear, or you've met your goals and you're not sure where to look next, it could be that you're building something you're not quite sure of yet. You're building a plan B for your family, or you're building in space for something that you don't even know about happening yet, right? That was the case for me. I had a lot of momentum and ranked up fairly quickly in this business. And after going Emerald, I was on cloud 9. Everybody's in momentum. Everything is awesome. And then I had, all of life just kind of pile on me in this one season that felt really, really hard. And it would have been very easy to give up. And the fact that I had gotten to an Emerald level really made it so I was staying committed in this, and I was not going to give up on those goals that I had set for my family so long ago. So when I was recommitting to this and saying, I am going to work towards Sapphire, I'm going to guide my team there, I decided to show up more as a leader every day, every week, every month. I was in the chats, I was doing the lives. I was not depending on my upline to run trainings and events. I started doing them myself because my team and your team, they joined us, right? They didn't join your upline, they joined us because they want to work with us and they're excited to work with us and they trust us, right? So we need to remember that even if you have an amazing upline that runs fantastic things and has great resources like I do, and I'm very grateful for my upline, it's time to really step into that leadership and be the one that is showing up on the team calls and the power hours and the accountability groups and the events and all the things, and showing people that you are a leader they can partner with. You are a leader that they can trust. You are someone they can feel confident doing business with, right? And be the one to lock arms with the people who are ready to work, no matter how many or how few there are, okay? One thing I did was start hosting team retreats myself. I was attending a lot of them through my upline, but I started having my own, even if there were only a handful of people there, because that unstructured time with the team is so community and belief building. The relationships that get formed there are just unmatched. And that time together, like that really kind of off the cuff, unstructured time with your team, I find is the sweetest thing in those retreats and events and things. And so I started doing those, and those really helped the community and culture of my team grow, and the closeness. It really feels like we're a family now. And so I had that going, and I started showing up more and doing more for my team, and I started doing mindset work around the value and impact that this opportunity could have for my family and the communities I'm a part of. Really reflecting, what has this business given me so far? What has it given the people around me? Recognize those blessings, be grateful for those blessings, and understand that those could be blessings for people that I haven't met yet, right? And being confident in offering that and explaining that and relaying the value of this opportunity to others. Having a gratitude practice and some self-reflection will really, really serve you here, and it'll help you decide, is this worth digging into and doing things that feel hard and staying in the trenches for as long as it takes to not only achieve your goals, but help the members of your team to achieve their goals. I decided that it was worth it, because even a couple $100 extra each month could be life-changing for most of the families that we know, right? And not having to clock in, trade their time for money or leave their babies, what a blessing that is for so many, and could be for so many people that maybe I haven't connected with yet. And so as Jules, we get to experience exponentially more financial and time flexibility because of the opportunity Plexus offers us. And that's something to get really passionate about. And remember that we all started at zero, right? We all started with that first paycheck, or that fast start paycheck, or that 3 to 6 month in paycheck that we were excited about paying car payments or groceries or gas or whatever the thing was. And remembering that those same blessings can be life-changing for other families out there, and getting really confident and passionate and offering that to everybody that you know, and then locking arms with them and saying, welcome to our team. I'm going to partner with you, and we're going to do this together. because I wanted to show people I knew that success in this business truly could be done in a healthy, sustainable way, right? And it could protect you, from some of the things that life is going to throw at you, and build this financial wall around your family and offer flexibility to enjoy your family more and do the things you love more. And, I just have so much gratitude. I really did a lot of reflection there. And as I was reflecting and growing in my confidence in this business, I started digging into the trainings and resources from others who had success in this business. And so during that time, several years ago, I was going to Brooke Hemingway's Align retreats. I was part of Bob Heilig's Legacy Leadership Academy. Now I absolutely love Brittany Howard's podcast. I love the things that Kristen Voss puts out. There are so many resources out there, you guys. I looked for people who were professionals, excelling in this field, who had simple trainings to offer. I listened, I learned, and then I actually executed. And I think that last element is where a lot of us get stuck. We get in this cycle of overconsumption and we don't actually put things into practice. But one thing I try to do is every time I listen to a training, I still do this, I pull out an action item and then I try to get to work on that immediately. I don't try to do all the things. I just pick out one thing I'm going to do, what I'm going to change, what I'm going to tweak, and then I go to town using that. And on a consistent basis over time, I start to see how that works for me, how I need to change that. Do I like this? Does it work for my team? All of that, what successes am I seeing? Reflect. And that has been something when you're absorbing all this training that is out there, even this video, pull out one thing. What's one thing you want to start doing differently and make that change and commit to that change. And then next month and 2 months, 3 months, reflect on how that change has affected your business. So I started reading books like What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. Mindset was huge for me, especially going through a tough time. Some habit-oriented things like Atomic Habits by James Clear, High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Those 2 books made a world of difference for my productivity and my energy that I bring into my business, the attitude I bring into it, the focus that I bring into it, just being efficient and in a good mood and energized and being productive when I sit down to work instead of being in a state of being drained or distracted and all of that. And so that was really helpful for me during that time and still are. I also read The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell. That is a wonderful book to reflect on where you're at in your leadership and where you can grow and how you're serving your team and in what ways you can serve them better. So I'd also recommend that. And growth in all these areas, getting consistent and showing up for my team and starting running my own stuff, trainings and calls and events and all that, as well as getting really grateful for this opportunity and having a thorough understanding and belief for how it could really bless other people was huge. And taking the time for personal development, that allowed for some serious duplication to start happening on my team. And when we went Sapphire, we had 2 senior rubies, 2 rubies, 4 senior golds, 13 golds, and 26 silvers. Now, not all of those were my level 1. Of course, those are throughout my organization. But you can see that growing in my leadership and digging in and partnering with the people who wanted to run with me, no matter how few or how many there were, was huge for allowing duplication to happen. Because I had then gone through, some trainings and things and created systems for our team to keep things simple. And I was walking alongside them every day and every week, checking in on the goals that we set for ourselves at the beginning of the month, and having those connection calls all the time throughout, how are we doing? Where do we need to adjust? Are you still hungry to grow your business? Is this something you still want to work toward? Setting goals, tracking them, focusing on duplication efforts, and having simple action plans. Like, this is what we do. This is when we do it. This is why it works. And encouraging people to get out there and work consistently while also holding them accountable and working alongside them and saying, look, I'm doing this too. That was huge. And so we had weekly team calls. We still have power half hours all the time, multiple times per week, and power hours, full hours, that we're just working together, just getting on a call and saying, okay, this is what we're working on next. Ready, go. We're going to do that for 5 minutes. And I was continuing to attend training calls myself and then calling out an action item and then putting that into practice afterward and reflecting how that's working and committing to those consistently over time is huge. And being able to reflect after 30 or 60 days of making a change and not just doing it one time. During our Rank Up month, we had push party Zooms throughout the month, so not just at the end, where we get all our leaders on to take massive action together. We had those on like a weekly basis, that we decided what we were doing each week of the month and what we were focusing on, and we'd hop on all together and work alongside one another throughout the month, so it wasn't just an end of month push type of situation. But if you are working toward Sapphire in this season, or you're looking to grow your business from Emerald to Sapphire, no matter how far that is for you and how many points you need to grow, the first thing to do is really get your mind right and discover why you're going for this. What is your vision? What do you want out of this? What do you want out of this for your leaders, for your community, right? And decide to recommit to growing your business and know where you're headed. Revisit your vision for the next 5 or 10 years, right? What is that? What does that look like? Get really concrete and clear about what that is. You may have to recommit several times, right? Maybe you feel super committed today, but maybe next Monday you might not, right? And so staying in the work, even when it feels hard, is key, because I do not want any of us to break the promise that we set with ourselves. You know, we set out with goals and motivation and reasons and vision for this. And there's so many reasons why we're passionate about those things, and staying in the work is going to be the most important part, because it's not always going to feel easy, and it's not always going to feel like you're motivated to do it, right? So the next thing I would say is reflect on whether the habits that you have each day are moving you closer or farther away from your goals. Be honest with yourself, right? Maybe give yourself a little pep talk. Are you distracted? Are you unstructured? Are you lacking systems? Are you lacking clarity? Do you not have structured work time? Do you need to start time blocking a little bit better? You know, what do you need to help yourself be more successful? And where do you need to do the work? Is it in your habits? Is it in your time management? Is it in your mindset? Is it in your belief? Slow down a minute and look at where your opportunity areas are. And then put your head down, get to work, and stop looking around, right? There are so many ways to do this business. You will run yourself ragged trying to do the next fun thing every time someone posts something on the Jewel page, right? And I think that's an area where I specifically had to do some self-talk around not hopping on the next event template, or hopping on the next IPA thing, or the next team call topic, or whatever, right? There are so many things going on all the time that not only does that take up our time and energy to investigate and explore those things, we end up wasting so much momentum in changing what we're doing all the time that we never stick to anything long enough to see if it actually works, right? So stay in your lane and focus on what's working well. Look and see where you feel things are hard, that you're not seeing the results you want to see. Find a training on that, pull out one piece, and then get busy doing that for an extended period of time to assess whether that's working or not for you, right? And just get back to what works. We all know that there's only a handful of activities that are going to move the needle in our business, and it's growing our network, building relationships, inviting people to learn more about Plexus, offering them an event or an exposure opportunity, then following up with them, taking care of them, and presenting the opportunity to them, right? There's only a short list of things that we need to be doing kind of on a daily, weekly basis. But you know, once people are a part of your team, really partner with them and show up for them, because they trusted you to either guide them along a financial freedom path or a wellness path. So get on a Zoom with them, set goals, coach them, and doing the same things that you're doing, and then rinse and repeat. It's just all of loving people well and showing up for them on an ongoing basis. And I think everything that feels hard right now becomes easier with time if we give it the consistency and attention that it deserves. I think if we can stay in the commitment and activity over time, we'll see movement toward our goals, right? I think we often give up too early. We stop right before the magic starts to happen. So if you're watching this, it means that this is the exact appropriate time for you to draw your line, not look back. Don't give yourself any other way out. Really pray over your business, and then work like the trajectory of your family's future depends on your commitment right now in this moment and in the days and months to come, because it truly does. Thanks, guys.